If you're married, this scenario is even worse. There again, your husband works more than he has to, and there's nothing wrong, with a man working. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. They should. Sometimes they have. My husband has worked 2 and 3 jobs to provide for us, but he always, he was not having to work. He was home with us, not hanging with his buddies or, spending more time on his hobbies and stuff. He always says that when I'm not working, the place I want to be is home. And every woman wants that. They want their husband to want to come home and be with them and their children. So, if a husband's being gone a whole lot more than he has to, especially if it's something he's not getting paid for, there's a red flag. Something's wrong. If he would rather hang out with his friends than spend time with you and the kids, something's wrong in that relationship. If his hobbies like fishing, hunting, football, baseball, whatever it is, if that's more important than you, and that's more important than the family, there's something wrong. And I'm not saying that, there's something wrong with what the wife's doing or the kids are doing. There just could be some issues there with the husband, and that's one of the things that breaks our hearts and causes women to make bad choices. Hurt and pain will cause us to do a lot of things that we normally wouldn't do, especially emotional. And what gets even worse is if the husband begins talking hatefully to the wife or yelling at the kids for unnecessary reasons. If he no longer notices her, that's a big deal too. When you're dating, we had said earlier, he notices what you wear. He tells you you're beautiful, and you may be getting ready to go to church or maybe out on a date night, and those are few and far between once you have kids, and he doesn't even notice anything about you. That's hurtful to a woman. Why do they get that way? And then if, a woman happens to gain weight, especially after they've had children, some women tend to do that. Some women are sickening and never gain any weight, but that's okay. We love them anyway. We big girls do. But anyway, if she gains weight, she still wants to know that her husband sees her as beautiful. Every time my girls had entered into a dating relationship and we would talk to the guys, we would go ahead and tell them up front, you need to make sure that you're going to love her for who she is. And we would always ask the question, what if she gains weight? You can look at my little bitty, daughter right now with the perfect little figure and think, oh, they'll never gain weight. They'll always have that figure. Well, the women in our family on both sides, mine and my husband's, we tend to gain weight. And there is that chance that my girls would do that. So I want to know that the guy that wants to court them or wants to take their hand in marriage and spend a life providing for them, I want to know that he's going to love them and respect them even if they gain weight. So that's one of the things we bring up ahead of time. When a man insults her because she gains weight or gets older, that does something to a heart. It breaks a heart, and sometimes it's almost impossible to repair the damage that words cause. And if you're that mean and hateful all the time, men, if there's a man watching this, or a woman, you got a man that's that mean and hateful all the time, something is really wrong. You may need to seek counseling or seek God's help somehow, because I don't understand how you can say the most hurtful things to the people you love on a regular basis. We all will get caught in a fit of rage or anger or desperation, and we may say something, but when we do, we immediately apologize. There are men out there who are belittling their wives or their girlfriends constantly and never apologizing. You're ripping them apart. You're changing them into something that you're not going to like. And these scenarios are all too common. Is it the man's fault, or is it more the woman's fault? Who's to blame? Who needs to change? Who needs to take initiative to fix these relationships? In most cases, both are at fault in some way. Maybe one more than the other. Maybe one, reacting out of an initial hurt or something. But in most cases, both parties are at fault. But there are some cases where the wife is absolutely not at fault. And I've seen some of those, and I'll give you some examples as we go through this on each of these things. But when you find yourself in this situation, what are you to do to prevent it? What are you to do to correct it?